had 3.5 weeks, I think, on our mats together during confinement, which is awesome. And the whole theme of this lunar cycle that we're meeting with is to meet challenge with strength and grace. And that is a very spring theme, because we want to feel this upward rising energy of feeling like we can actually, you know, push our limits a little bit and having this evolving edge that we're pushing.
Anna.
Hello Anna, good morning. So we want to keep with that theme in that I'm going to give you some challenges, hopefully in your practice, but I want you to meet them with the strength that you have, but grace. So don't try too hard, and don't worry if it doesn't work, and just take it to where it is right for you, because we all have our own evolving edge. So we're going to start with our toes pointing outwards, knees soft. Just take a moment to sense where we are right now today, in our body, in our mind. Just have a tune into how you're feeling. Try to feed the breath. And see how easy or hard it is to find a smooth and easy breath. Let's start to let the arms float up on an inhale. The arms float down on an exhale. Slow the breath. Breath with movement. Try to focus your attention on the breath and let the movement follow. It's the breath that matters. Just taking one more full inhale, reaching up and out. And exhale, feel your center drawing inwards. Feel yourself deepening into your thighs a little bit, maybe widening your stance if you need to. And dropping the hips a little bit deeper with your knees wide over your ankles. So you come into a horse stance. Take an inhale as you rise up. And exhale, maybe tip over to the right side. Just feeling into a little side lean while you keep your hips really fixed in position. Take an inhale as you come back to a centered place. And exhale, reaching over left side, just feeling into your shoulder space, feeling your glutes work, maybe taking it over one more time. If it feels right for you, you might take wrist with your right hand, taking a few breaths on each side. You could deepen into your thighs, feeling your glutes at work, and take an inhale as you lengthen high, and exhale, turn out the heels and fold forward. So deeply bend in the legs and maybe alternately move. Sending your weight from side to side. Just take my hair out of the way. So moving deeply. Try and free any tension in the hips. You can really turn the heels, the toes out here if you need to. And then bring the feet back to parallel and rise all the way up. Taking a big inhale.
Michelle.
Good morning, Michelle.
Gilda, Lindsay.
Good morning, Gilda and Lindsay. Come join us. We're going to float ourselves up on the left side of your mat. You're going to lift up through the right leg. So taking whatever feels nice and upward lifting grace. So feeling a stability through your standing leg. Widen and deepen. Exhale. Taking an inhale, moving back. Sending your weight through left leg. And exhale, widen. Knees wide, deepen into your horse stance. We're just building a little fire in the hips, in the thighs, in the glutes. We can flex our foot here on the right side and maybe send our right arm down and press up with our left arm. Find a stable balance. Feel into your waist. And then exhale, turn to your left side, right side. Come onto the back toe and take an inhale as you high lunge. So fix the hips. Feel into this space as you reach back with your left leg. Your right leg is nice and bent. Taking yourself into your gentle shadow boxing fists. So we want to feel the waist work here. Feel like you're turning with a little resistance through the waist as you fix the hips. You might speed it up. So we're emphasis on the exhale. Taking 2 more. And then inhale as you lift high in your lunge and exhale as you dip down. You're coming into a low lunge here. Take an inhale. So moving your pelvis forward just a little bit. You might even slide that left leg back a little bit and feeling into this hip stretch here. If it's too much to have your arms up, bring them all the way down. If you have your arms up, maybe look to the thumbs and take your elbows out wide eventually into cactus arms. So warming up the shoulders. 1 more time. And then drop fingertips to ground as you send yourself back. Arch through the spine, taking a big inhale, meeting chin, chest forward, and exhale, hugging everything in. Spread through the neck and shoulders. Perhaps going to work a little bit more of the upper body today and the core. So working through any cat-cow that works for you to free the spine, maybe taking a few rolls. This is your practice, so you choose. And then eventually, whenever you're ready, come back to a strong tabletop with your core nice and engaged. And we're going to extend the left leg back. So lift through the hip, through the toes, and exhale as you round. Take 2 or 3 more times with your breath. Exhale, round, and really pull the core in. Finding that cat-cow. And then take that knee for a big circle. Maybe 2 or 3 times each side. And then extend it out. Kick. Look over your right shoulder. And then extend. Inhale, kick. Exhale, extend. Try and keep parallel to the floor. Little scorpion tail. Just warming up the glutes a little bit. And then sending it back. Nice and level. And exhale, squeezing the upper arms to the center line. Coming down into a baby chaturanga. Chin to floor. Coming up to center. Exhale, round. Inhale, extend. Exhale, squeezing your upper arms to center line. And pressing up again. Let's do that 1 more time. Exhale. Inhale, extend. Exhale, forward and down. Squeezing upper arms. And exhale, up. Dropping that leg down by the side so we're back in our tabletop. Tuck the toes and press back into that downward dog. Wrap the shoulders. Armpit bandha for people that were in the arm balance workshop. Really working that armpit bandha. Maybe even turbo dog if you're working that. If this doesn't make sense, just ignore it. Sending your weight up and back, maybe bending the knees and taking whatever intuitive downward dog shapes feel right for you. Finding this wake up time. Waking up the body. Then we're going to move the body back in towards strong standing legs. Catch the elbows. Maybe soften the knees. Do whatever feels right here. And eventually, maybe swaying from side to side. If it feels natural to you, we're going to plant one hand, bend and reach up to the other side, taking a twist through the waist, drawing in the navel. So these shapes should all feel familiar to us. Extending through one side Stretching through the leg and opening the shoulders. Coming back to center, and when you're ready to slowly unravel, roll the shoulders backwards and turn to the long side of your mat. Taking a big inhale. Exhale, drawing the hands into a balance, lifting your right leg, holding your center, and then widen into a deep squat. Take an inhale, send your weight over to the right side, float your left leg, find your waist, drawing inwards, squeezing everything into the center line, and exhale, widen. Send the knees as wide, toes as wide as you can. So we're coming into deeper squats here. Inhale, floating up, finding your balance. Where is my balance today? Squeezing everything into the center line, nothing fancy, just squeezing in. And exhale, widen and sink deep. Keep it soft, keep it watery, we don't want to be stuck. That's one of the practices we're trying in spring, is to find strength and grace by not being stuck, not being brittle, not being wooden in our shapes, in our movement, nice and fluid. Exhale, drop down. And inhale, last time, floating up the left leg, perhaps dropping the left arm down, softening between the shoulders, and finding this really exalted, centered place between heaven and earth. Turn. Plant down that left foot, turn onto the back heel and rise up into a high lunge. So find your balance here. Find your center through the waist, reaching up, a little stretch through the front body and really anchor the feet. So find a strong foundation, lift the upper thigh, up and back on the right side and deepen into the left leg. So you might start to work into the waist, working into this gentle shadow boxing, fixing the lower body. As you feel the waist, find a little fire. Keeping your joints soft, elbows are soft. If you are feeling any frustration or emotions that you want to get out, you can do that here too. 3, 2, 1, feeling into that waist space, drawing everything inwards, rising, and then exhale as you drop down into your low lunge. So you might want to guide that right leg back a little bit and feel into this downward release. So still using our legs with engagement, feeling connected to the foundation, pressing that into the floor, rising up if it feels nice, or staying low. Just allowing with a few breaths the feeling of this stretch. If you can manage to take arms up comfortably, big inhale. Exhale, squeezing the elbows back and down. So nice and slow, deliberate. Warming up the shoulders. Exhale. Inhale. And then exhale, plant the hands, slide back into your all fours. Inhale as you arch and taking a few nice moments to just free the spine, the hips. Take whatever movements feel nice. Arching, maybe pushing all the way back. So you take your intuitive movements here. And we'll meet back in our all fours. So, I'm going to take the right leg this time. Extend back. And round, nose to knee. Inhale, lengthen. One on the right leg here. Exhale. We should have been left leg maybe. Way. Rounding and extending. Bending, looking behind us in our scorpion tail and extending. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then bring yourself into a big rounded circle. Just free off that hip. Take whatever circles need to be made here. And then set yourself up, all fours. And reach your chin chest forward. So really set yourself up so you're sure you're in your good tabletop shoulders and in line with wrists and knees in line with hips. Extend through that left leg and exhale, drop down. Inhale, press up. Exhale, round. Inhale, extend. Exhale, drop forward and down. Squeeze the upper arms. Inhale, rise up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, forward, down, squeeze. Press up. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, squeezing deliberately, nice and slow. Inhale. Exhale. And then set yourself back into your all fours. Maybe have your knees a little bit wider than hips width. Sink back into your heels. You can either slide your hands crossed underneath you to catch for each ankle, just to relieve the shoulders, or just stay here, comme ça, making a pillow with your hands. Just settle with your breath in a feeling of noticing how you feel again in your body. So we're always going to revisit how you're feeling. Are we still moving with strength and grace? Reach the arms forward. Press up into your all fours. Tuck the toes. Hold your core center in. We're going to lift the knees just into a little bear crawl here. Just have a sense of drawing in and up before you send the hips up and back. So let the arms be long and strong. Wrapping your armpit bundle, upper arms towards the center line. Squeezing those upper arms in, just feeling into this downward dog stretch. Moving your hands back towards the feet. Finding a forward fold. Maybe catching toes or ankles or elbows. Just finding what's right for you. Belly sucks in on each exhale. Get all the air out on the exhale and find more room to find this forward stretch. Maybe plant the right hand, bend the right leg and open up to the side. Exhale as you drop down. So you might stay for a few breaths in the twist, or you might float with breath. Your choice. It's a really nice one to find a stretch through the outside edge of the hip. Also feeling this twist and opening through the thoracic space. And dropping downwards, maybe catching the elbows. And slowly rise up. Lift and lengthen. And turn to face the long side of your mat. You would float the left leg high. Maybe feed into this nice strong and proud, graceful, flowing shape. And then bring your feet not quite as wide as before, so just a bit wider than your hips. And roll your shoulders back. We'll take a few head rolls. I don't know about you, but I'm spending a lot more time looking downwards. Perhaps sitting, reading on my computer or what have you. The neck's taking a little bit more strain than it might normally, for me anyway. Just take the time with the neck space. Taking turns in each direction. And then coming back to center whenever you're ready. Just feel into the shoulder space. We're going to give the shoulders a real shudder. Loosey, loosey. Juicy, loosey. Nice and easy here. And take an inhale as you rise up with the arms. Send the arms upwards. I'm going to send the right hand behind us. And just find this stretch. So we're drawing the elbow up and in. And the hand can be in between the shoulder blades. You might have a little reach through the ribs here. So do whatever feels nice there. And then if it's comfortable for you, we're going to extend the right arm and catch with the left hand the upper arm. So we still want to have our head pressing backwards, so we're not hunched forward like this. This is kind of pointless for what we're trying to do. If you can comfortably catch this space, you might start to draw the arm over and feel the stretch to the left side. Maybe take it to the other side. So you can explore that motion. Otherwise, just catch the elbows on top and just maybe take a little side lean. So it's just going to sense how you feel through the elbow space. Good. So we're going to take it to the other side.
Charlotte Madison and Melanie.
Hello, Mela. Hello, Charlotte Madison. Come join us. We're going to take the left side. So taking this left hand down the center line, moving the elbow. So lovely to yoga with everybody. Or at least know that you're there. We're taking this stretch. You might catch hold of the upper arm on the other side and reach it back. Trying to keep a nice long line in the spine. Head is tall. Maybe taking it to the other side as well. Or just catching the elbows. Good. So keeping your elbows caught now, just taking your feet a little bit wide. We're going to move into a gentle side bend. Looking at the toes. Exhale to the side. Just lifting the heel of the opposite leg. As if you're moving in the wind. Just a gentle breeze. Roll the shoulders back and down and squeeze them up. And then soften them. So a little gentle opener for the shoulders there and the neck. So just take a moment to notice the effects of that. And then take an inhale as you rise up. Exhale as you move in towards the left side. Float up the right leg. Exhale to press down. Turning. And finding your high lunge. So decide if you're taking 2 or 3 motions here. Warm up the waist. Float up. Then we're going to extend back through the right arm. Maybe reach up through the left. So feeling the waist lengthen, keep pressing into both legs, strong foundation. Perhaps that hand comes down and you feel a bit more of a twist. And then inhale, open out to the long side of your mat. So the right leg is bent, left leg is straight, and find your center. So have a little shimmy in the hips here. Find the centered space. Take an inhale as you open out through the arms. And exhale as you windmill your arms. You may touch behind, you may not. Don't worry. One hand goes up. I'll show you from behind. Just take a gentle, on an exhale. Just a gentle opening. So don't try too hard. It's like a little fresh bud in spring. Brisk going in the breeze. One more time. Touch perhaps. And then free the arms out. You might take a dancing warrior to meet into a Parshvakonasana. So the right arm comes down, the left arm reaches over. We're really strong and long in this side body. See if you can move the belly, the ribs round to the side. Maybe you're coming a little bit deeper. Your practice, your decision, you decide. Maybe you can take this arm for a big circle, just free off the arms. Good, and then we're going to extend out through strong straight legs. So you might want to scoop that back leg in and reach over. So you have a nice length in the body. Maybe you stay here for Trikonasana. Maybe you guide yourself down. Maybe you take that arm for a big circle. So be with the expression, maybe follow the thumb. Feel the different sensations in the side body as you move through these circles. And then lift and open. And soften the knee as you turn to face the front again. Exhale as you bow forward over your right leg. So you might need to scoop the back leg in. Come straight into a pyramid, or you can have the back leg bent. Draw in the waist. Let the head drop downwards. Maybe you're walking your hands backwards, or they're just here. You might have a block or a book. So just taking another couple of breaths here, drawing in the waist, really hugging in the low belly. And then planting the hands and setting that right leg high. Working your way into a plank and round, nose to knee. Inhale, extend. Now if this feels too much, come onto your knees and do what we did before. Exhale, round. Inhale, extend up. Exhale, moving into plank, rounding. Sending your right leg out and planting both heels downwards, opening up into a side plank, really lifting the waist if you can. Moving into a plank place, dropping onto your knees or taking chaturanga to lower down. So we're going to set the elbows underneath the shoulders and come into a sphinx shape. So plant the heels, plant the toes, sorry. And really feel the upper body moving through the arms, lifting the head high, letting the pelvis drop low. The feet are grounded. So we want the shoulders to feel like they're pulling away from the ground. Elbows are grounding, or they might float if you want a little extra height. On the next exhale, we're going to round, spread between the shoulder blades, maybe lift the pelvis, come onto your knees, and then inhale, plant the pelvis and draw through. So we're going to do 2 or 3 little pulses of that. Exhale, unravel yourself, rounding gently in the upper back, and inhale, drawing through. Exhale. Inhale. Really make sure that your elbows are set under your shoulders and your wrists are in line with elbows here. You might tuck the toes this time, and next time you peel up, come into a plank. So you might have your knees down, or you're in a forearm plank. Now if this is too much for your upper arms and shoulders, you can interlace the hands. Try to make sure that the elbows aren't too wide. Or stay in your dolphin arms for 2 more breaths. Spread between the shoulder blades, a little dome between the shoulder blades, perhaps squeezing the upper arms, armpit bandha. Good, drop onto your knees. You might even walk your knees in a little bit, tuck the toes, and start to hinge back for a stretch, and perhaps a dolphin dog. So you decide what's right for you here. It's going to be a really great one to build strength in the upper arms. See if you can really root down into the elbows and arms. Try and have the head hanging between the upper arms here. So you might shift your weight forward and back a little bit. Or maybe you're still on your knees. Set yourself back in for a side plank. For forearm plank. And then plant your right arm down as you move into a side plank here, if that feels right for you. If you're feeling good in side plank, really lift, 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 taking a few more breaths before you turn to the other side. So we're on the edges of our feet. We can always be down and trying to pulse up, or you can use your upper leg to support you. Coming back to center, and maybe working yourself up onto your arms and feeling into a really nice extension of downward dog. And just notice how dolphin dog to downward dog feel very different. So see what space you have now. And set the right leg through. Drop onto the back toe. Plant into your left hand and take a twist. Big inhale, maybe taking a nice circle to free off the shoulders. And just be with that sensation all the way. We're going to turn onto the outside edge of both feet. I think you should know this one. We might come down onto our forearms. Try and set the left hip down. So if you have to slide the right foot into the center to get that space, that's great. If you can prop yourself up and find this side stretch, that's great too. We're in lounge lizard. So think about how a lizard lounges. It's quite chilled, relaxed. So no tension here. Not brittle, not stuck, not wooden. So find an ability to lounge out here. Inhale as you lift, maybe into a side plank if you want to. Maybe 2 legs, maybe 1 leg, perhaps tree. Decide what's right for you before you come back and set yourself up in downward dog. Do a little vinyasa if it feels right, or meet us in child's pose or downward dog. Set the right leg through. Slide the back leg in. Find your waist drawing inwards and find a pyramid again. Setting the breath. Maybe you've got your block or your book nearby. We're going to come into revolved triangle. So we're really hugging in the waist and squeezing the hips towards each other as we start to open through the shoulders. Maybe you just keep your right hand on the upper shoulder. Maybe you extend it. Maybe it's on the hip. Just feeling this twist through the waist. Really nice IT band stretch. You feel the whole center of your body compressing and twisting. Drawing downwards. Planting the hands and extending back. Take a vinyasa or just meet us in child's pose. Keep the knees quite wide. You might take your arms back to opposite ankles and find a really restorative place without shoulders involved. Steady the breath, or perhaps you're like this. Feeding the breath and just sensing where you are in your body and your mind right now. And find a fluid flow. Breath and movement. Try and release any sense of frustrations or tensions. And work our way up. Step into the center line. Fold over the feet. Release the head, the neck. And inhale as we rise up. Exhale, hands to heart center. And float up the right leg. So find yourself in tree. Take a moment in tree. The right leg. I'm doing very well with my left and right. It's mirroring you see. Take an inhale. Maybe catch the left upper arm and open. Coming to the other side and open. Challenge your balance. Or maybe you just have the elbows here. And then release all the way down. So you might take your feet a little bit wider than hip width. And just have a sense of this space under the collarbones, long meridian. Just maybe take a little spin through the body. You might take one hand to this area and really ease it back. So you're nice and open in the thoracic. Focus your breath to being exhale. Inhale passive. Taking a few more twists in the spine, maybe releasing the arms down. And relax. Take in those little vibrations, that little tingle. A nice sense of energy lifting. Stay with your easy breath. We're gently going to move ourselves into our right leg. Lift up proudly and tall, flexing the left foot. Rising. And exhale. Send ourselves into a nice proud heaven and earth, somewhere in between. We're centered. Turn, left side, ground. Rise. We're taking a few so warming up the waist. Inhale as you rise, sending the right arm down and the left arm open, starting to twist from the waist, keeping the lower body fixed, opening and reaching. So if this feels good, keep sending that upwards. Maybe you're making a gentle fist. Maybe this left arm drops down and you take a slightly deeper back bend. You choose. Take an inhale, open out to the long side of the mat. Set the feet up, coming into a warrior. So relax the shoulders. We're going to come and find a little windmill. Maybe we can touch the fingertips without too much strain, without too much effort, and certainly without cranking in the neck. We want to find this nice long spine. So just freeing the arms behind us, touching, warming up the shoulders. Just one more each side. And then float the arms, maybe draw the shoulders towards each other, send the arms back. Perhaps a revolved reverse warrior, and then drop down, Parshva, so a really nice side opener with the twist. You might drop onto towards the ankle and finding a really long line down the right side of the body, turn towards ceiling. And then inhale as you extend into your Trikonasana. So choose if you want a shorter stance, lengthen through the spine. Don't go too deep that you compromise this lovely shape. It's a really great stretch. Whole inner line of the body, the whole sides of the body. As the arms open and the thoracic gets a nice opener here. Soften the knees and rise. Turn to the front, step that back foot in. And deepen into a high lunge. And then drop all the way down. Right hand to the inside of the leg and twist. So twisting by hugging the left hip back a little bit. Really feeling the belly drawing inwards. Try and find a nice long line where the shoulders draw to the center line, nice and active, shoulder blades on back, but the arms reach in two directions. Good, turn to face the foot. Hug in this back leg a little bit, shorten the stance, and find a pyramid shape. So keep hugging the waist back and up, the left hip back and down, up, and draw yourself downwards. Maybe your hands are meeting towards the back foot. Stay with your breath. And how are you using your foundation? Really root down into the big toe mounds. Good. Sliding backwards. I'm going to plant the right hand downwards. Coming back into your lunge. And then round towards the back side of the mat and the outer edge of the feet. And start to drop the right hip downwards and extend through the back leg. So we're coming into a lounge lizard. Let the shoulder rise up to the ear if need be, and stretch through this whole side body. So the right side gets a stretch. Taking a nice few moments here. It's a great hip opener or hip stretch. And then you may press up into a side plank. I'm going to reset my hand so it's right under my shoulder. Draw it into a place of balance. So really using your side waist, reaching up, up, up. Maybe finding your tree here, or whatever feels right. Make sure you're connecting your shoulder blade to your back Keeping the shoulders super stable before you then turn to face the front. Exhale as you lower all the way down and take a vinyasa. Inhale as you rise. So you choose what back bend you want. Exhale and meet us back in downward dog. Move the feet inwards. Maybe you're bending your elbows a little bit for turbo dog and really feeling that armpit bandha, or just stay with a regular dog. Feed the breath. And then set the feet back just a little bit, coming into a plank. So we're going to take the left leg this time and extend it back. Exhale as you round. Inhale as you send it up into a downward dog. Exhale as you round nose to knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round. So you're really resisting in this plank, sending the shoulders upwards, not dropping the chest. One last time. Extend. Draw into the center and maybe send that left leg underneath you so you have a fallen star. Open in both arms. So we're doing little mandala, same shapes, different side. Sliding upwards, and then decide if you're coming down onto your belly. However you're coming down. Reset the hands. Inhale for Sphinx pose. And exhale to unravel just a little bit. Lift off the ground. Inhale, drawing everything through. Little cat-cow for the back if you like. Exhale. 3 more. Inhale. Be nice and freeing for the back. Last time. Maybe tucking your toes. You decide coming into a forearm plank. If you need to be on your knees, be on your knees. Starting to really feel the action through the upper arms, the shoulders. Everything is wrapping into the center line. You're pressing the ground away and you're pulling your body up away from the ground. You're definitely not hanging out here. So it's quite an action. Maybe coming onto your knees and interlace the hands. So do measure the arms so that the elbows are down so they're not too far apart. Plant the hands downwards. So we now have our fists connected. Pressing into the elbows and lifting up if it feels right into a dolphin dog. Exhale, moving into a plank. And we're going to come into dolphin press-ups. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale forward. So again, you can be on your knees here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Try and press equally into the wrists, the forearms, the elbows. Try not to let the elbows splay out too much. And take it slow and easy. Feel what you're working here. Resist the ground. 2 more. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Dropping downwards, coming all the way to ground. Sliding the hands either side of you, coming into your upward dog, cobra, whatever you would like. Exhale, pressing into these strong arms. Feeling into this downward dog. Use it as a stretch for the arms. Really send the hips high and see how that's changed your downward dog in any way. Drop to the knees, keep them wider than hip width. Maybe reach hands underneath you, relax, release the shoulders. And just bud down. There's so much beautiful spring blossoms at the moment. All the buds, all the blossoms. We're just about reaching the peak of spring. All the colours. And all that natural beauty that only comes once a year in that way. It's really nice to celebrate that. It's a real party for nature. We're just pushing our own evolving edge just a little bit to try and meet with that similar vibe, and try and perhaps produce something, craft something a little bit more beautiful in our practice. So coming up into downward dog, meeting us here whenever you're ready. And we're going to slide the left leg up and draw it all the way through. Draw the waist in, this really nice strong waist. Slide the back leg in just a little bit. You might want your book, your block, a support, anything which might help you here. We're coming into revolve triangle. So really think about your foundation, strong legs. We're going to twist open to the left side. So take it to whatever feels right for you. If you're challenging yourself today, you might be taking the block to the outside edge of your left leg, so that you come into a deeper twist. Or perhaps you're steadying yourself on the inside edge of the foot. Taking a few breaths there. Plant the hands, extend back. Work your way forward for a vinyasa. Exhale, lower. Inhale to rise. Sending the hips up high. And then sliding left foot and turning to the long side of your mat. Take an inhale as you half lift here. And exhale, we're going to slide wrist over to the right side and try and get a side length here. So we're trying to draw the elbow towards the ground, nose towards the knee. And then gently move over to the other side. So feel for the waist length, as well as the hamstring and back of the leg length. Elbow draws downwards, face towards knee. Inhale as you rise up. Bring the feet together in a gentle bounce perhaps. And slowly rise. Prepare for tree. Taking an inhale as you float the left leg up. Plant it anywhere along the inside edge of the standing leg. So it can be low, it can be high, you decide. Reaching upwards. Perhaps catching and drawing outwards for a tricep and shoulder stretch. Steady the breath. Maybe challenge your balance as you start to reach your arms in opposing directions. Just enjoy that expression of tree, whatever is right for you. And then release the arms down, release the feet down. And find yourself in a mountain pose again. So just take a few moments rolling the shoulders and then settle in a steady place. Just notice how you feel. So hopefully having built a little bit extra heat in your practice today, I meant to ask if people have walls. So if people do have walls, I don't know if you're in a position to answer. Colin's reading his book, so I don't think he'll be able to feed back to me. Can you see? If anyone doesn't have a wall, well, I suppose people won't, so I'll show you both. So you've got two choices. If you have a wall nearby, and particularly if you're practicing your arm balances and your handstands, you could be practicing your pickups here at the wall. So you could just be doing 3, 2, 1, pulses before you come up and trying to go for 10 breaths at the wall. Or if you're not there yet, but you're doing the L shape, measure yourself a leg length from the wall and walk up the wall for your downward dog prep. So these are L shapes, getting our hips over our shoulders. Remember, armpit bandha, wrapping your arms in. If that's not for you, those are perhaps for the more advanced. If that's not for you, we're coming to the wall, sitting ourselves up against it. We're going to slide our feet up the wall. So the bum is up against the wall. You may take a few moments here. And then we're going to bend the legs so the ankles are in line with the knees. We're going to really lengthen the neck. Hands go towards the wall and press onto the wall and try and get your hips over your shoulders here. So see how that feels for you. How many people have said that they don't have a wall?
Nope.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that you do have a wall. You're either doing your handstand preps, your downward dogs on the walls, and then you can come to meet us here. So what we'll feel like we're doing is a bridge. So if you don't have a wall, settle down onto the ground and do a bridge. Really use the glutes, draw the thighs towards each other, and the arms towards the feet. If you're against the wall, the arms go towards the wall. If you can interlace the hands, that's great. If you can't, just press them into the ground. So really send the pelvis towards the chest, towards the line of the shoulders. So what you might find here is if you came onto your toes and supported your ribs, you might find yourself floating in a form of shoulder stand. So you can stay supported here, or you can come into shoulder stand eventually. After you've had a number of breaths there, you can lower yourself down and float the feet up the wall. This is quite a nice place to rest. Once you've had a play with that, so again, we've got our arm stretch, arm balances, we've got our bridge. So I'm just going to show you again if it wasn't clear. Sit bones right, so you might need to really shiver your sit bones to the wall to get your legs up the wall. This might be where you stay, or bend ankles in line with knees, press and send the pelvis towards the line of your shoulders. So here we're in a bridge place. We'll really feel a lot of pressure on the neck and shoulders. Try and enjoy that sensation. And if you're coming into a balance, perhaps one leg at a time, but don't do this if this feels in any way bad for your neck. So once you've had a few plays at that, you may even use the arms to draw your knees and thighs over towards your forehead and take a plow pose, which is a great one to do in the morning so we feel particularly stiff in our thoracic. Again, if that's not for you, just leave your legs up the wall. Just taking a few moments to play with your own practice. You may take your wrists for a little turn here. Maybe you're pressing out. A few side planks today and forearm planks as well. So I know not everybody's wrists are happy. But it's really great to build some strength in the upper body that we can play with. Pressing that out. So if you've had your play with bridge on the wall, shoulder stand, halasana, plow, just explore all those shapes on your own. Perhaps you're loving the handstand prep. Go ahead and practice that, but eventually come back down to this place, legs up the wall. It's a really nice, nourishing place. And just let the heart rate settle. Perhaps draw the hands out by your side. This is where we'll rest for our practice today, so enjoy that. If you don't have a wall, you can pop a book underneath your sacrum and you can still float the legs up. You can even catch them if it's more nourishing for you. Just notice how you're breathing and the quality of your state of being right now. See if you can soften through the neck and shoulders. Just taking a few moments more there. We're really at a time of fullness of life in our spring environment, and that's how we should really be feeling in our own space. But confinement doesn't always give us that opportunity. So it's great that we can yoga together and maybe try and match that energy together, lifting our vibes and maybe challenging yourself a little bit. So for those of you that are doing your arm balance challenges, go ahead as well after the practice today and practice your crows and practice your side crows and your handstands. And it's quite an empowering thing to practice. Feel the strength of your body building over the course of these weeks. Whenever you're ready, we're going to slide the feet downwards, maybe hug in the knees. You give yourself a little roll through the spine. And then drop onto one side, just drawing yourself upwards to a seated place. So finding a comfortable seat, you might have a little cushion underneath you. You're going to take the neck over to the right side and just allow the neck to have a little bit of a space here. We're still keeping ourselves quite inward, maybe moving with your right hand, the shoulder back. You're really sensing that opening. You're maybe sitting on the left hand to help feel this stretch. You're feeding the breath all the way through to the depth of your lungs. You might even take your right hand to the temple and gently allow the weight of your arm to extend the stretch, but no pulling, no straining. Taking 2 more breaths in your own time. Or if you want longer, stay longer. Before you lift your head up, just free that shoulder and just have a little moment seated, taking in all the sounds and space around you. Just notice any release through the left side of the neck. Notice it before you move over to the other side. It's definitely not a hurry. You don't want to hurry with these neck stretches. Taking a moment to move your shoulder open. So you're really sending this collarbone space open. And if it feels good, only if it feels good, do you take your hand to the temple and just allow that extra stretch. I'm sitting on my hand as well on the right side. Now find a nice length in your spine as you release, release, release with breath. Lifting the head upwards, freeing the hands. Maybe giving yourself a little shudder again through the shoulders. Any last bits of tension out. And then open the hands upwards, maybe a chin mudra here. Take these last few breaths together. Just grounding through the sit bones and growing up through the spine. A sense of upward floating energy. And the head is lightly balanced on the top. So feel the balance of the ground beneath you, that stillness, that support. And the sky above you, that air, that lightness, légèreté. As your bones stack in between, feeling your strength, your core, and your core values. And just try and find a weekend that really, really supports you, nourishes you. You become a little spring blossom yourself. Make the most of all those spring blossoms out there because they were not there forever. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. It's lovely to yoga with you. Have a beautiful weekend.